Angel Reese finished 13th in WNBA All-Star voting. 13th. This is the same player Forbes declared one of the faces of women's basketball. The same athlete with over 2 million Instagram followers. The same person who told the world that fans don't just watch for one player, they watch for her too. But when it came time for actual votes from actual fans, the brutal truth emerged. All that social media clout couldn't even get her into the top 10. The deeper you dig into why she failed so spectacularly, the more shocking this story becomes. Let's start with the numbers that expose everything. Angel Reese is currently shooting 31.1% from the field this season. To put that in perspective, she's taking most of her shots in the paint as a 6'3" forward, and she's still missing 7 out of every 10 attempts. Her shooting percentage has actually gotten worse since her rookie year, dropping from an already poor 39.1% to this historically bad mark. Meanwhile, players getting zero media attention are shooting circles around her while she collects magazine covers and trending hashtags. At 6 feet 3 inches, she should be dominating the paint, yet she's making just 31.5% of her layup attempts, the worst mark among any regular starter in the WNBA. These aren't difficult shots. These are the gimmies that separate professional players from college prospects. Her rebounding numbers, supposedly her calling card, have dropped by more than a full board per game from last season. The same media outlets that spent months building Angel Reese into a superstar completely abandoned her when it mattered most. USA Today's Megan Hall, who wrote glowing pieces about Reese's cultural impact, left her entirely off her all-star ballot. Sports Illustrated writers did the same thing. These aren't random haters. These are the journalists who helped create the Angel Reese hype machine, and when they had to put their credibility on paper, they couldn't justify including her. The media betrayal was swift and merciless, proving that even her biggest supporters knew the performance didn't match the headlines. For months, these same outlets couldn't stop writing about her influence on the game, her fashion choices, her social media presence. But when forced to evaluate actual basketball merit, the silence was deafening. What made this rejection even more humiliating was how desperately Reese campaigned for votes. She posted on social media begging fans to vote for her, practically pleading for all-star recognition like some kind of popularity contest. The optics were terrible, a supposed superstar having to ask for basic recognition. Compare that to Caitlin Clark, who never had to ask for a single vote, yet received 1.3 million, nearly triple Reese's total. The contrast was jarring. One player earning respect through elite performance, another one having to beg for scraps of recognition. When you're publicly campaigning for votes and still finish 13th, that's not just a loss. That's a complete rejection of your brand. The campaign backfired spectacularly, highlighting exactly how little organic support she actually possessed. The all-star voting process revealed how little respect Reese actually commands from the people who matter most. The vote splits 3 ways: fans, media, and fellow players. She bombed with all 3 groups. Fellow WNBA players who understand the game better than anyone passed on her completely. These are women who compete against her regularly, who see her preparation and performance up close, and they collectively decided she didn't belong in the all-star conversation. That peer rejection cuts deeper than any media criticism ever could. When your own colleagues won't vouch for your abilities, it exposes just how hollow the hype really was. This collapse exposed the fundamental problem with Angel Reese's rise to fame. Her entire brand was built on perception management rather than basketball excellence. The media needed a rival for Caitlin Clark, so they manufactured one by pushing Reese as an equal talent despite the obvious performance gaps. For months, outlets ran with the narrative that she was reshaping women's basketball, creating artificial storylines about rivalry and competition. But when forced to evaluate actual merit, that storyline crumbled instantly. The silence from her former media champions speaks volumes about how quickly manufactured hype can evaporate when confronted with reality. The contrast with Caitlin Clark makes Reese's situation even more brutal. Clark didn't just win the fan vote, she obliterated it while leading her team to playoff contention and breaking attendance records wherever she plays. Clark's impact shows up in every measurable way. TV ratings spike when she plays, arena sell out, jersey sales skyrocket, and most importantly, her team wins games. She's averaging over 18 points and 8 assists while shooting efficiently from everywhere on the court. Meanwhile, Reese's team struggles while she puts up empty statistics that don't translate to victories. The basketball world has clearly chosen which player represents the future of the sport, and it wasn't even close. But here's where it gets even worse for Angel Reese. The voting numbers revealed something devastating about her supposed fan base. Despite having millions of social media followers and constant media coverage, she could only generate 500,000 votes. Those numbers don't add up unless you realize that social media followers don't equal actual basketball fans. Most of her online support appears to be manufactured engagement, people following for drama and controversy rather than genuine appreciation for her game. When it came time to actually vote in something that mattered, those followers vanished. The gap between her online presence and real-world support became impossible to ignore. Industry insiders have started whispering about whether Angel Reese's entire meteoric rise was artificial from the beginning. League executives pushed her as a marketable star before she'd proven anything on the court. Shoe companies threw money at her based on potential rather than production. Media outlets wrote endless features about her impact while ignoring her statistical shortcomings. The entire system seemed designed to create a star rather than recognize one who had already emerged naturally. Now that the house of cards is collapsing, everyone's scrambling to distance themselves from the wreckage. The most damaging aspect of this whole saga might be how it affects Reese's confidence moving forward. Being publicly rejected by fans, media, and peers after such massive hype can destroy a young player's mental game. She's already struggling with basic fundamentals like layups and free throws. Adding the psychological pressure of living up to artificial expectations while dealing with very public failure could send her career into a tailspin. Some players use this kind of adversity as motivation, but others never recover from the crushing weight of unmet expectations. What makes this story even more compelling is how it reflects broader issues in modern sports media. The rush to create narratives and manufacture stars often ignores actual performance in favor of storylines that generate clicks and engagement. Angel Reese became a victim of this system, built up beyond her abilities and then abandoned when she couldn't deliver. The media machine moved on to the next shiny object, leaving her to deal with the aftermath of inflated expectations and diminished credibility. Now Angel Reese faces the biggest question of her young career. Will this devastating reality check motivate her to actually develop her game? Or will she fade into irrelevance as another overhyped prospect who couldn't deliver? History shows that some players use these moments as fuel for improvement, completely rebuilding their games and coming back stronger. Others get exposed and never recover, becoming cautionary tales about the dangers of premature hype. With her shooting percentage getting worse and her media support vanishing, the window for a comeback might be closing faster than anyone expected. The Angel Reese All-Star Snub proves that in professional basketball, authentic respect can't be manufactured through social media campaigns or friendly press coverage. When fans, media members, and fellow players all had to choose who truly deserved recognition, they sent a clear message. Performance matters more than popularity, and substance beats style every single time. The question now is whether Reese will learn from this harsh lesson and put in the work necessary to earn genuine respect, or become a permanent reminder of what happens when the hype train runs off the tracks.